I just like the fact that viewers get to watch me have fun and your life flash before your eyes. So that's
time over here.
Alright, what's up guys? My name is Zach and today I am driving a 2009 Corvette Z06. Up front is a 7.0 liter V8 and down below is a 6-speed manual transmission. Now I am super excited to be driving this here Z06 and I brought the owner Elliot along with me. This is his Z06. He recently picked it up for the Extalgic YouTube channel, and so if you want to see that whole build process, please go check that out before you watch this. But once you've done that, enjoy the show. I am super excited to be driving this car. 7-liter V8, I mean, how can you possibly go wrong? What's your favorite attributes of the V8, of just driving and owning this car?
So motor is, it revs so high for such a big NA V8. It's at like 7K and just gobs and gobs and gobs of torque. I mean, you're gonna feel it. I mean, you've driven one of these before, but
yeah,
in combination with like gobs of torque and weighing literally nothing, it feels faster than the horsepower figure for sure.
I'll be honest, I'm very fortunate enough to drive a lot of cars in my career, if you want to call it a career. The Z06 has always been one of the scariest cars ever. The C5 was that way, the first C6 Z06 was that way. I think it was because when I did a poll in the C6 Z06 a couple of years ago,
yeah, I
was in third gear and it was still sideways. And I don't think I've ever been so scared like that.
I mean, I'm sure in this kind of weather, in third, possibly even fourth, you'll get a little kick out for sure. They weigh nothing, man, and like just torque everywhere. This is a nice straight. Traction good.
Give me 7. Give me 7. I can't do it. I'm not man enough.
That's what 61. That was pretty good.
Ah!
It just goes forever, man.
I'm not. You know what? I never revved out the Z06 all the way.
We're making it happen today.
Oh my! It's a bucket list. I've never hit 7,000. I'm not man enough.
We got to do it.
Oh, we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. There it is! Finally, yeah! Yes, I did it! Finally! Oh my God, it is exhilarating.
It was like fishing the whole time.
Oh.
That was a second gear pull too.
Oh yeah.
Very nice.
So what's the stock horsepower?
505.
505, which, does it say it on the badge on the fender?
It does, yes.
Okay, because the C5 did that as well. I haven't looked at this one yet. But oh my God, is it intoxicating. It drives actually like a rotary.
Okay.
Because you're like, I need to shift. I need to shift. I need to shift, but you don't. You definitely don't have to, baby. Oh, man. Oh,
this thing's
God.
great, man.
It's so good. Like I said, paired to it, 6-speed manual transmission, tons of fun to row through. Now, it does have that very American shifter feel where it kind of feels like a stick in the mud. However, it's still nice and easy to drive, and the nice thing about that 7-liter is that you have all the torque in the world to deal with. Last but not least, the Z06 is rear-wheel drive with the LSD in the back. Now we're going to talk about the interior. I'm going to run through this super quick because I want to get back to driving it more. In front of me, I have a bunch of gauges, very typical of GM. I get tons of great information, which is really nice, and that little screen down at the bottom gives you a lot of really good information as well. This was characteristic with the C5, and it's the same story here in the C6. The steering wheel is a nearly identical steering wheel to my 07 Pontiac G6. This is a parts bin part for GM. It's nothing too flashy. To the left of me, I do have memory seats, which is very nice, and I have, of course, my power windows and power mirrors, and the power locks. Moving into the center, I have 2 climate control vents. I have the standard GM radio. They toss this into pretty much every car from this era. Then I have the climate controls. I do have dual zone climate, which is very nice for 2009. You don't really see that all too much, especially on a sports car. You don't really need dual zone because there's not a whole lot of interior space, but that's okay. I also have heated seats, which are coming in clutch today. It's about 40 degrees here today. Then we come to the actual shifter itself. I've always thought that these shifters are kind of funny because the shift pattern is actually angled towards you. Then I do have cup holders off to the right, so let's do a big friggin' bottle test here in the C6. I mean, there's no chance that it would even fit, which is a little depressing, but par for the course. Then to round out the center console, I do have a traction control button, which, funny enough, is actually a C5 Corvette on the button. They never updated it for the next generation, which is just funny to me, but that's pretty typical GM. The seats are nice and comfortable. Like I said, they're heated, power, and memory. How's your seat over there? Feeling good?
It's good.
Have you ridden passenger in this car before?
Once before.
Okay.
This was much scarier.
I don't know why you would say that.
Your traction light is just yelling at you.
Oh yeah, it's screaming, but that's okay. Now, we don't have any back seats, but we will take a look at the trunk real quick. And now we have to talk about the looks. Tell us about this wrap.
So this wrap belongs to a guy in Canada, one of my favorite wrap designers on the internet. I follow him on Instagram. He put out a post saying that he's giving away this wrap, and I was just so happy to be lucky and won it. And then I had a guy local here, his name is C7 Sloan, awesome wrap guy, does it on the side, wrapped it up for me in a couple weekends. Yeah, the wrap design is by Joyride Designs on Instagram. He does such incredible work. I'm like really lucky to have his design on my car, so I love it. It's just a bunch of X's too, which happen to work out because it's part of my brand.
Oh wow, that wasn't planned?
No.
Oh wow, that like perfectly worked.
I didn't change anything about it. As an artist, I didn't want to like tweak anything.
Right, yeah.
know?
Huh, I love the look of it. I think it's super unique. And it's interesting because in the last couple of years, we've definitely seen more C6s come into the modifying community, especially with, there's a couple drift spec C6s now.
Yep.
And other people are starting to modify them instead of just the regular typical old guy that parks it, washes it, and parks it again.
Yes.
So it's nice to see something actually exciting happening, especially with the exterior of these. I feel like there's not a whole lot of room for like crazy modification, but this wrap really looks good in my opinion.
I appreciate it, dude. Yeah, the guy's super talented. He does typically like crazy, wacky one-off designs. I'm like seriously so lucky to have it on my car.
Oh yeah. It feels so good. It really feels good. And honestly, we were talking off air. Don't worry, I'm not gonna go for it. You can release, you can unclench yourself. I love the ZR1. The ZR1 is one of my favorite reviews that I've done because that's just like, it's a trophy case car to drive. But honestly, I like driving this better. This feels more brutal, it feels more honest. It's a little bit more in your face, it's more exhilarating. Even though the ZR1 is way faster,
Yeah.
This just like, I don't know, it just has that sort of very human feel to it, where the ZR1 just feels like a bunch of computers, beep boop bop, you're going fast.
Really?
Yeah, this feels a lot more, I don't know, it feels more beast-like, if I could say.
What sounds better? I'm curious.
I don't know. Should we find out?
Let's go.
Should we find out? Let's find out.
Let's get it over with.
Let's just... From where I'm sitting, this one sounds better.
In all fairness, the exhaust isn't stock either, but...
What is the exhaust?
So it's just an Axleback Corsa Extreme, that's it.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, and it like really livened up the sound.
Yeah. I love the sound of it, but not only the exhaust definitely helps that feeling, but it's just the 7-liter taking it up to redline. I mean, you feel alive when you're on the verge of death. Really, that's the truth.
You're telling me.
I have a feeling my number is going to get deleted after this video, but no, it's just, it has that brutal feel to it, and I think that's what was missing out of the ZR1. The ZR1 was almost too good for its own well-being.
Okay.
But this keeps you on your toes.
Like, everything's so raw about it. Like, you can feel, like, just in the shifter, the vibrations, like, on center, the steering is just, like, super direct. Yeah. Super direct.
I absolutely love that. What have been some, like, fun things about owning it, bad parts about owning it? You know, walk us through that experience so far.
Super personal thing, the most thing I've liked about this car, this is actually my first manual car. I learned how to drive manual on this, and in my opinion, obviously the power and, like, you know, the rawness and the sketchiness isn't ideal, but the power and the transmission and the clutch, everything is super ideal to learn manual. And that's been my favorite.
You can just let off the clutch, and because of that 7-liter V8, you have all that low-end torque where it's going to be hard to stall. It's going to be really hard to stall, which is fantastic for learning on. However, you have now screwed yourself for every other car you ever drive.
I think so.
Live up to the power of this.
I think so.
But what have been some downsides or things that you don't quite like about this car?
Honestly, and this sounds like I'm hamming it up for YouTube, honestly, there's not much. Like, it's really low. That's about, like, it. And, like, dumbasses in their mom's Rexes like to, like, and it has to do with the wrap, but, like, you know, you get a lot of attention. I'm not, like, typical for that. I don't favor that, but that's pretty much it, dude. It's like, it's comfortable. Like, the suspension isn't super harsh. It's like a great track car. It's got heated seats. It's well equipped. Like, it's good on gas. Like, contrary to the 7-liter, it gets the same gas mileage as my 5-liter Jenny. About 20, 21.
Wow.
And if I really try, I've seen people get up to 30 on the floor. So
the Z06 I reviewed back in a couple years ago, the guy said that he got like 35 all the way out to Arizona.
I've seen it. I've seen pictures online, Also, like, the best thing about these platforms, you can literally build them into whatever you want. Drift car, road car, like, drag car,
time attack, whatever you want it to be.
Anything. Like, there is an aftermarket for literally every avenue that you want to take this thing.
I think my only personal downside of this car is some of the interior stuff. Like, I spent 130,000 miles staring at the steering wheel in my Pontiac, so to see it again, I'm like, oh man, bringing back all the good and bad memories. But other than that, I mean, that's pretty much a staple of Corvettes, is that it's just GM parts they had laying around, and they put into a car, strapped a rocket engine to the front, and sent it on its way. Any closing thoughts for you?
I would say, like, if you're thinking about a C6, like, even if your budget doesn't allow you to get a ZR1 or a Z06, like, the base model LS3s are nice. Even the older LS1s, like, I would honestly, like, consider getting into these if you want to build a street car, a drag car, a drift car, like, whatever. This is, like, such an easy platform to get into. It's not that expensive. I will say to go back to, like, what I don't like about this car, the biggest thing about the LS7 drops valves, rather. So, like, when I got this, I actually budgeted for that fix. There's shops, there's one local to me, I took the Speed Inc. It's about $300 to fix, but after that, like, you have no anxiety, you don't have to worry about it. It's all insurance modded. You can enjoy it and do whatever with it. But if you're thinking about a C6 Z06, keep that in mind that you will need to at least take it to a shop to see if the heads issue was fixed, and if not, I would honestly just fix them, just because they can drop at any time. 5,000 miles or 100,000 miles, guys have seen it, and it's a real issue, I would say. But just keep that in mind if you want to get into these, specifically the LS7s.
Well, I appreciate you letting me take it out. I appreciate you not crying. I don't think it was too bad. You okay?
I'm holding it together.
This car is absolutely awesome. Please go check out his channel. It'll be linked in the description below. It's a blast. This is a one-of-a-kind car, and it just looks so cool, too. You got to check it out, and I'm sure you're going to have plenty more videos about it. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Don't forget to rate the video, comment on the video, and subscribe if you liked it. I'm not going to end with a poll just for your emotional well-being. Take care, guys.
It's not on here.
He said to do it.